They shouldn't have given you ashy blokes YouTube.
Cursed be the ground, for our sake. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for us. For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.
I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
And for this episode, I just got one more, okay? Just one more to play.
How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
How do you fuck that up? That's going to be the theme of this whole stream, okay? Roddy's first. Shannon Moore comes in second, okay? So Roddy Habeas, do you think schooling is trending to move towards a hybrid theory training and apprenticeship? My high school is starting to teach real world things. For example, the kids ran a court trial. Yeah, I think so. Should be. You saw the girl in the I'm getting ready to talk about that. Cryptid Wolf, what's going on? Adric, what's going on? Prince Lavaris, what's going on? Very Little, D King. Chef Mike, what's going on? Catching a little live stream for a date night. Jerron, what's happening? Usual business. What's going on? Going in next month. Okay. Dusty PhD should be a good show. Yeah, should be. Had a soul. What's going on? Babu. And Terrell Bentley. So you suing me for $20 million since I can't read and count. Read, write, and count. Upstar, what's good? Chat, Dead Set, what's happening? Yeah, defenses. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Yeah, I know. I got it. I was muted. I was trying to drink water at the same time, so I muted and forgot to unmute. C.S. Smith, what's going on? Red Falls Black, what's going on? Johnny Anderson. And see, Lionel Player 1. Kim, that boy, what's going on? Dayron, see, got everybody in. Okay. C.S. Smith, what's going on? PM, what's going on? Black Mills, Piro, what's going on? Javon, what's going on? And that is it. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into this. It's all started with this. Okay. Share the screen. How did an honor student who says she can't read or write get into college? Okay. So Alicia Ortiz, 19, alleges she cannot read or write, yet she says she graduated with honors from Hartford Public School in 2024. She has since filed a lawsuit against Hartford Board of Education and city officials, accusing them of negligence in failing to provide adequate special education services throughout her schooling, per reporting from Connecticut's. That's News 8. I think we might watch that. Ortiz is now enrolled at the University of Connecticut, says she relied heavily on assistive technology such as speech-to-text and text-to-speech programs to complete schoolwork. Ortiz's lawsuit underscores broader concerns about systemic failures in public education, particularly in providing adequate support for students with learning disabilities. Okay, how she get into college? The case has drawn attention to academic achievement and is measured whether special education students are truly receiving the skills they need to succeed beyond high school. Additionally, it raises questions about how colleges assess applicants, especially those facing severe academic challenges. They shouldn't be there. Okay. What you want to know is how she got into college. Okay. The days before her graduation, the school officials reportedly offered her the option to defer her diploma to receive additional support, but she declined. Okay. Her admission to UConn was possible due to the school's holistic application process, which does not require SAT scores. According to UConn admissions, the university evaluates applications based on GPA, coursework, and extracurricular activities and essays. Okay. Ortiz told CNN she used a voice-to-text software to complete her application. Also, she received financial aid and scholarships to support her education. Once in college, Ortiz faced academic difficulties. No shit. She shared with CNN that while UConn has provided support services, she took a leave of absence starting in February 2025 for mental health reasons. Of course she can't read, okay? I guess that would cause stress. She stated she intends to return to her studies, but has faced challenges in adapting to the rigor of college coursework. She can't read. Experts have pointed out that Ortiz's case is not unique. Literacy advocates argue that the disparities in educational resources disproportionately affect students in underfunded districts. Bullshit. Contributing to cases while students graduate without essential skills. Okay? It's bullshit. Bullshit. Okay? Let's hit the let's hit the link for this WTH News 8. I think we saw it already, but let's hit it and see what happens. Okay. I was looking for a video, but I guess they don't have one. A news operation without a video. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, no video. All right. No video for this one. All right. There it is. That's it. That's the one. Okay. Let's see. Stop sharing. Okay. Let's share this one. Share that one. Can you guys see this one? Okay. You guys see this one? See, keep doing real black media. I said if you use to my students, if you afraid of weight, if you use ChatGPT instead of actually reading in my class, you will face hell on the job. Yes. Okay, you guys can see it. Okay. This is something I was battling with. This is something I was arguing with a black female with, okay, about using this tech and using this as a crutch and why it's bad for a business. It should be used as a tool, okay, and not as a crutch instead of doing the real work. And she argued against that. And this is the kind of shit that happens, okay?
Of a Hartford Public Schools graduate. She earned her diploma, unable to read or write, and what she endured is troubling.
She sat down with News 8's Eva Zamaris for her first TV interview. She shares her message.
This is a special report from
a precious moment in time captured in a photo of a young girl with so much hope and promise for the future. But her journey from that moment would prove to be unlike anything she could have ever expected.
My name is Alesha Ortiz, ALEYSHAORT.
Struggling to spell her own name, 19-year-old Alesha Ortiz tells us the school district she entrusted with her education failed her, graduating last year, unable to read or write.
My time in Harvard Public School was a time that I don't wish upon anyone.
Ortiz moved from Puerto Rico to Connecticut, becoming a Hartford Public School student in the first grade. She struggled with a speech impediment, dyslexia, ADHD, and initially a language barrier.
Every first day of school, I would tell the teacher, hey, I cannot read and write, so please be patient with me. So everyone knew.
For years, she asked for educational resources and support, but instead, she says she was bullied, harassed, and neglected by.
How about her parents? Her parents don't know how to read or write. If she knows, she's telling the school, how come her parent? Why is she saying it to her teachers and not her parents? They also have people called social workers.
District employees.
I cry knowing that the people who has big titles know that this is happening and no one has stepped up to do something about it.
Ortiz has now filed a lawsuit against the city, Board of Education, and one of her special education teachers, claiming her learning disabilities were not properly addressed by the board. And as a result, she continued to struggle academically. This specific complaint names Tilda Santiago, a special education case manager and teacher, who would allegedly yell at, belittle, ridicule, and humiliate Ortiz, adding Ortiz would frequently run to other teachers and or administrators in tears and emotional distress. We reached out to Santiago for a comment. She directed our request to the Board of Education staff attorney.
Where was her mother or her father? Okay. Where were they?
We're waiting to hear back. Ortiz used talk-to-text and other technology to get her grades up, walking the stage at graduation. A moment filled with mixed emotions.
It's the treatment that she had to go through at the hands of several of the people who were the adults in the room who were supposed to be helping her.
We reached out to the city and Board of Education, who tell News 8 they can't comment on ongoing litigation. The superintendent's office also declined to comment. Carol Gale, president of Hartford Federation of Teachers, told us she can't speak on the specific lawsuit, but thinks there needs to be a review of policy. It does give educators in Hartford pause to reflect on the sometimes conflicting goals to increase graduation rates, while also maintaining high expectations consistent with what a high school.
In other words, they're treating white kids and stuff like that like kids in the ghetto. Okay? White kids, it's happening to the white kids too.
School diploma should mean. Ortiz wants to see change happen so that no other student will have to experience what she did.
Education is so important, and I believe we have forgotten the meaning of it.
Again, we did reach out to the school district for a comment. As for that lawsuit, they're seeking an undisclosed amount in damages. Many have rallied around Ortiz, getting her the support that she needs. She was accepted into UConn and wants to focus on special education policy and advocacy.
How are you going to go to UConn, one of the most prestigious colleges in the nation, and advocate for special education? Now, you don't belong there. How are you there? How did she? Oh, yeah. We'll get into that in a minute. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. Now this is something that this is the woke crowd. Okay, this is the woke crowd. This is how the woke is presenting her. Okay, like she's a hero. I said, there is more going on here. She is special ed, and that changed the dynamics of this case. There is a mental disability that is understated. Yeah, but she should not have been allowed to graduate with honors and then go apply to college. Okay. How do you get accepted in UConn when you can't read? And this is what happens. And that's why it's a scandal. Now she wants to go back and sue. More than likely, they were frustrated with her because she wouldn't buckle down and study. Okay. Now how's she gonna get a job and she can't read or write? Anyhow, continuing. Now, but this is how she's presented now.
Spotlight today is the remarkable story of Alicia Ortiz, a 19-year-old who graduated from high school with honors, yet faced a profound challenge. She couldn't read or write. Having moved from Puerto Rico to Hartford, Connecticut, Ortiz battled not only a language barrier, but also dyslexia and ADHD. Instead of receiving the support she needed, Ortiz alleges that she was ridiculed by her educators. Despite this, she persevered, leveraging technology and sheer determination to graduate. Now, she is suing the Hartford Board of Education, seeking accountability for the negligence and bullying she endured. Ortiz's journey highlights critical flaws in the education system, emphasizing the urgent need for supportive learning environments. Her story inspires a reevaluation of educational priorities and the importance of compassion in teaching. In the spotlight,
compassion in teaching is what got her here. Okay, the old school keep failing her until she succeeds actually worked better. Okay, actually worked better. That's why I think that she's going to lose the lawsuit, because her performance is inhibited by her disability. That's not the school's fault. No, it's not. And they put her in a special education class. They identified her disabilities. They gave her a special educational counselor. Okay. They jumped on her about not being able to read or write, but she bullied and she ran to other teachers. They knew what she was going through. They gave her help. Okay. If she can't do it, she can't do it. You know how women are, Trell. You know how women are. It's status. Okay, getting into UConn is status. Not knowing that once you get there, how you gonna stay there? It's not getting into UConn and staying there. Damon John Fubu had dyslexia, but he had to create another way to learn and understand. Try another excuse. The thing is, okay, the system exists. Okay, they don't put me in the NBA because I'm not 6'5" instead of 6'1". Okay, it's what you can do on the court. They don't care. Most jobs do not care. They're not going to hold your hand and give you a paycheck just because you're special needs. That's like the ship going through a DEI has to stop. That's like when we fell behind China and Japan and Korea by doing this shit. This is this feminist woke bullshit. This is what they talk about woke. This is the kind of stuff that gets the Department of Education in a lot of trouble. Okay. And this is the one that showed you how she did it, I do believe. Now okay. This next one I'm going to show you. This is what I'm going to show you is why I don't like this kind of technology in schools. Okay, the way they're trying to teach these kids. Okay, it's why I don't like it, and I get a lot of pushback by saying I'm a Luddite. Basically, MGTOW universe. Are you hearing me? Okay, that's why I don't like it, because because I've actually go through the process of teaching not only my little brother and sister, my kids, also my grandkids, and I had to tutor people, and I know how people learn. And this kind of crutch, you give them a crutch. Okay, that's the reason when I was in chemistry, in math, when I was in high school back in the 70s. Okay, we couldn't use calculators. Got to use slide rules. They said, why? It's because calculators are a crutch. Now, in the ghetto schools, you can use calculators. They just want you to get the answer as fast as possible. And in the upper middle class white schools I was going to, they wanted you to learn the process. It's more about exercising your brain than it was about you getting an answer. Okay, the answers, they would care less about the answers. Okay, they wanted how you worked it out. They want to exercise that brain. But this is how she got through it. She said, these schools have systems that revolve around socializing and how well you can get along. Yeah, performance is the last thing on their minds. I've seen it firsthand. That's why I always play the teacher. Said, I remember when they let us use graphing calculators. You weren't allowed to use it unless you programmed it yourself, which made you learn math. Yeah, well, I can that I can see. Okay. Yeah, that's old school. But thing is, it made you work. Okay. See, I completed it. GCSE, no calculators were allowed. That's old school. They want to actually exercise your brain. Anybody can use a calculator. And calculators are nothing compared to what they have right now. Now watch this.
Did you ever think you'd be going to college here?
No, never. Never in a million years.
In some ways, Alicia Ortiz is living an American dream. The 19-year-old began her freshman year at the University of Connecticut in Hartford this fall. She's excited to study public policy, the culmination of hard work after moving north from Puerto Rico as a child. Do you remember when you first came to Connecticut?
Yes, I remember I was very nervous, but I know it was going to be better opportunities for me to learn.
But Alicia says those opportunities never came to fruition. Even today, could you read this, or would it take you a long time?
It's impossible. I just see these words everywhere.
Alicia graduated from the Hartford Public School System last year, but she says today she is illiterate. She still doesn't know.
She says it's impossible to read text. Okay, all she sees is words everywhere. Okay, it's almost like a foreign language.
How to read or write. When she was in early education,
they would just either tell me to stay in a corner and sleep, or just draw pictures, flowers for them.
And when she was in high school, she relied on speech-to-text programs and other apps to read and write essays. So if you had an assignment where you had to write something, you'd open up a document like this and then do what?
I would go here to use the text-to-speech.
It says dictate.
Dictate, yep. I love pizza.
This is how you would do your assignments.
And then
Cats of the World VAK sporting a twin-prop airplane.
If you had to read something, that's how you do it. She said her mother, who does not speak English well, tried to get answers.
She advocated so much. She went to the school. The principal will promise her that they will do better. And sometimes there will be people from the district or the directors promising her that they would do better.
Now, Alicia is suing the Hartford Board of Education and the city for negligence. The suit alleges the school district documented and acknowledged Alicia's learning challenges through multiple grades, but because they were not adequately addressed, she continued to struggle academically and began exhibiting maladaptive behaviors in the classroom.
Sometimes I will feel proud to be the best child because at least I was something to them, and I wasn't invisible.
While the city of Hartford and an educator named in the suit declined to comment when contacted by CNN, in a statement, Hartford Public Schools wrote, "While Hartford Public Schools cannot comment on pending litigation, we remain deeply committed to meeting the full range of needs our students bring with them when they enter our schools and helping them reach their full potential."
What's the dog, man?
Dr. Jesse Turner is the leader of the Literacy Center at Central Connecticut State University. He feels the main issue here is inequality in public education.
America should be asking a question. Do we really care about our children, all of our children? And I would argue that maybe we don't.
A 2019 report from EdBuild, which promotes equity in public schools, found that majority non-white school districts get $23 billion less than districts that serve mostly white students. Minority enrollment in Hartford's public schools is at about 90%.
The Department of Education's a big con job.
Plus, Turner fears a crucial guardrail will be lost if the Trump administration follows through with.
They act like teaching kids to read at a basic level is rocket science, and it's not, okay? Lionel Player once, we're paying high taxes in these cities towards education, and she and the rest of her generation can't read or do math correctly. That is a fact. That is a fact. She got something else going on in her head, just not diagnosed yet. Being fairly attractive doesn't equal intelligence. I don't know. She could have something. There probably is something else going on. The problem I'm having here is that the lack of focus on her disabilities to slant the argument. A competent court will boot this case out, especially under the new deal. It's probably true. Yeah. They failed tests, quizzes, basic assignments, but they guilt the teachers and use "she's a good kid" ordeal to change their grades, and they hate work. Okay, her mother tried to get help. Okay, I've been in this game too long. Okay, they got tutors. She's in special education. Oh, they try to do what they call mainstreaming the kid. That's like she got put in a regular classroom, and she couldn't keep up. And if anybody's a teacher, you can't have somebody can't read or write, and you're trying to do a lesson. You don't have time to teach the kid to read and write. She should have learned that in previous grades. So what are you going to do with her? Now, either you're going to all you can do with her is sit her in the back of the class and have her draw pictures. What else is she going to do? Okay, what else is she going to do? Okay. She was surprised she can't read and stay in college. Wow, of course she doesn't. Now the thing is, if you knew how to go to speech to text and have things read to you, okay, they're reading the text in front of you. Even if you use speech to text, you can pick up how to read from speech to text. They're literally taking the book and reading it and highlighting the words in front of you. How could you not over 12 years not learn how to read? At least at a basic level. It's almost impossible unless you don't have the mental capability to actually learn. Now there's some people that don't have the mental capability. I'm thinking that's her, but she's smart enough to know how to leverage technology. She's smart enough to learn how to leverage technology and adapt your tech to actually doing what? To actually forming an essay, but you can't read. While she didn't even try to learn, and no one held her accountable. I think that's the problem. I think her counselors did try to hold her accountable, but that's like she claimed that she was bullied and ran to other teachers, and they protected her, so they just hit her. Okay, in other words, we can't make her learn. We can't force her to learn how to read and write, and we have nothing else to do with it. So we're actually going to protect her because we don't want to feel guilty about it. So they stick her in a corner and pass her. That's what happened. Not even subtitles. I've heard kids learn how to read from subtitles on screen. Okay, if you want to learn you really want to learn how to read, you could have. YouTube has been around for the whole time she's been in school. Okay, you could have gone to YouTube videos to teach the kid to read. There's no way you can go through 12 years of school around books with special ed and not know how to read. Okay. Bullshit, in my opinion, but anything can happen. People fall through the cracks. Okay, sounds like we have a candidate to be sent back to Puerto Rico. She ran away from those who were forced her to learn. Diabolical, probably so.
with abolishing the Department of Education.
How do I protect the special education children? Who do I go to if I close it down?
College has presented its own obstacles, but Alicia says UConn has been accommodating, but she doesn't want any other student to go through what she experienced.
I know we can do better, and I know we have a powerful community that wants to do better. I want to be the voice for them.
Danny Freeman, CNN, Hartford, Connecticut.
They should not have allowed you in the first place. That was the problem. You didn't belong there, okay? How many other kids applied to UConn and couldn't get in, and you can't even read or write and you got in? Come on. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. But this is how we raising Gen Z. This is why I complain about it. It's not that Gen Z is inherently bad, because people get that idea that I'm calling Gen Z and millennials inherently bad, okay? I'm talking about how these kids are taught. And see, when I said it about millennials, okay, we didn't fix the shit then. We didn't fix the shit then. And then what millennials and Gen Xers did is spread that shit to Gen Z. And shit got worse. Now they're gonna spread that shit to Gen A. Are we gonna keep allowing this shit to get worse until Gen A doesn't even participate in school? Come on. How bad are we gonna let this shit get? I said, this is the reason why a lot of people are fed up with the system. How can a person who can't read or do math accomplish getting into a high-value school? And there are smarter people who fail to do so. Exactly. She should have never been there. How'd she get in? She fell through the crack. She should go out and play lotto, man, because she probably do better at lotto. Because if she's that lucky to fell upward like that into UConn is not the easiest school to get into. UConn is not the easiest school to get into. And even when she got in, they were trying to help her, okay? But you can't help somebody that didn't learn how to read in kindergarten, okay? My grandson learned how to read. My grandson read better than her at 3 years old. That's ridiculous, okay? Like I said, they have adapted school tools for students and such education. She was in school from 12th to first to 12th grade. Exactly. Okay. She went every day. Even at that, I mean, you should, even at that, okay, you should know how to read and write. Okay. Reading, I know, is hard, can be hard, but it's not that hard. Okay. Reading is not that hard. If my 3-year-old can learn how to read, so can she. He said, no SE or ACT required for many universities these days because they said it was racist. UConn is Big East. I got in Seton Hall, and it's rigorous. Okay, they also used to make you test before enrolling, so they knew where to place you. Yes, exactly. But I think they were too embarrassed by giving her accepting her, and once they found out they accepted her, they had to find a way out. They didn't want to say that we accepted somebody that couldn't read or write. That's embarrassing. Okay. Now I've heard of athletes getting scholarships and going to school couldn't read or write, but there are athletes in grad school. One of my exes needed me to tutor her in the EC6 exam to be able to teach. She didn't pass high school math, but still graduated from HBC. He said, "You cannot make this shit up." Right? Wait, hold on. Where is it at, man? Where is it at? Okay.
How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
That's all I can say, man. That and they wonder why the United States is failing, why China's eating our lunch. Okay, they wonder. Here's one. I think this was. See if this. Here's another one.
It says that she can't read or write. So now she's suing the school district that she says failed her. Alicia Ortiz is taking legal action against the city of Hartford, the Board of Education, and one of her special education teachers. The 19-year-old moved from Puerto Rico to Connecticut in elementary school, and she says that she struggled with a speech impediment, dyslexia, ADHD, and initially a language barrier. Ortiz.
That's an excuse, but you had 12 years, really, what is it, 13 years to figure that shit out. You had 13 years. You graduated in 19. You had for 14 years to figure that shit out. What happened?
Says that her learning disabilities were not properly addressed, and she says that she's now put in the work, dedicating most of her free time to school, listening back to be able to listen to those audio recordings of her classes and using talk-to-text applications to complete assignments and eventually graduate. Well, still, Ortiz remains illiterate and struggles to spell her own name.
Every first day of school, I will tell the teacher, hey.
How can you not spell your own? You know what? I don't care if the mother cannot speak English very well, okay? She's Puerto Rico, okay? I don't care if she speaks Spanish or English, not that good. Mexican kids know how to spell their freaking name, okay? I have never been in any country in the world where kids cannot spell their own name. Haven't seen this since Jim Crow, okay? Where they intentionally miseducated the boys to where men didn't where men couldn't sign their own name. They had to put an X on it. That's why they married a woman with education. They educated the girls and miseducated the men because they said men didn't need education. Black men didn't need to know how to read or write. So they would actually scrawl an X. But in the 50s and 60s, they were supposed to have addressed that, right? There's no way a girl can fall through the cracks like this. Not in this day and age. There's a whole lot of shit going on. I can't wait to the court case because I actually want to follow this.
I cannot read and write, so please be patient with me. So everyone know. I cry knowing that the people who has big titles know that this is happening, and no one has stepped up to do something about it.
Ortiz claims that she was belittled and humiliated by one special education teacher in particular. And school officials say they can't comment on ongoing litigation, but Ortiz right now is seeking an undisclosed amount in damages. Let's bring in Chief Legal Analyst Clive Rhodes to this conversation. It's interesting just to point out in this case here, she graduated from school and she's saying that she's illiterate. So since public schools reserve and they receive government funding, can they be immune from these types of lawsuits?
Well, typically, yes, a school, it has some type of protection. They have some types of immunity. But yes, you can file a lawsuit against a school district. That happens a number of times. I participated in lawsuits against school districts by employees. Cases with students against an employee against the school district are a little bit complicated, but they can happen. I mean, it really just depends on the type of claim that you're bringing. I mean, if it's a negligence claim, like in this case, I mean, it's clear if the school knew or should have known about the danger, if they failed to maintain safe premises, when kids get hurt at school, if a teacher acts outside of the course of their employment, there are multiple avenues and ways that you can file a complaint and be successful in a claim against a school district. But in this case, you talk about her graduating. She goes to the University of Connecticut right now. She graduated with a high GPA. But I looked at and listened to and read a number of stories about this young lady. And I mean, I have to commend her for attempting to overcome her struggles and hurdles. For her to even be successful and graduate, she had to do a number of things. She used a phone to record.
She gamed the system, okay? And basically, instead of learning and going back and learning how to do it the right way, she gamed the system. She learned how to game the system. She gamed the system and got into college and thought that she could do the exact same thing in college that she did in high school and find out, whoa, wait a minute, college, a four-year college is not what I thought it was going to be. That's how come she had to take a break. Oh, because of emotional distress. Bullshit. You don't know how to read or write. That's that feminist bullshit. You don't know how to read or write. It's not emotional distress. You're failing. Yeah, she thought UConn would be a cakewalk. She thought she could do the exact same thing with speech to text and chat GPT that she could do in high school. And then what if she had graduated with UConn? What if she had graduated from UConn with honors and could read or write? What if that had happened? How would the whole educational system look that you passed this chick, she got through college with honors, and she couldn't read or write? Did they ever make her take a test? A written test? Nobody ever made her take a written test, even a typing test. Nobody ever looked over her shoulder? Come on, man. How you graduate with honors? Should the U.S. enter isolation again to reset and let China be number one? That is a question for a different day, boss. We're not talking about today. That's why I do my AMAs on Friday. Okay, it's number one. Number two, if you want to know, ask those kind of questions, they need to be on Patreon. Okay. Now, if it has to be part of the subject, I'll answer it. But the thing is, that's too long an answer, and it doesn't belong here in the segment. But the short answer is probably no. You can't isolate yourself. Actually, why is the guy calling her successful? What's what? Is she successfully anybody? Okay, give her credit. Okay, give her credit. Okay, to go not being able to read or write your whole entire career, can't even spell your own name, but you get into UConn, you game the system, get into UConn. That takes a little clever. She got some kind of smarts. She's not stupid. She figure out to fool the high school and fool UConn. She got some kind of smarts. I think there's a lot of laziness in there too. Personally, that's just me. She got a great mind for scamming. Donald Trump, hire her, okay? Exactly. Yeah. Elmo was teaching kids to read. That is true. Yeah, they used to. They don't do that anymore. Well, thing is, if you know, I remember this. I can't remember the name of the movie. It was what a chick said. Sometimes being a bitch is all that you have to hold on to. Okay, she ain't got. What else did she have? She gonna be a special ed worker working at McDonald's? What else does she have? Okay, basically she took a risk. Same thing with a kid selling drugs on the street. Her two ways: either working a strip club like Cardi B or this. Okay, so I commend her for her moxie. But the thing is, if you have that much dog in you to actually scam the system, get into UConn, you have enough dog in you to learn how to read and write. And I've seen that. I've seen the guy get into college, could not read or write, and he basically worked his ass off, okay? His ass off for 5 years to learn how to read and write and graduate from college, okay? Worked his ass off. He was up 20 hours a day, learning how to read and write. It can be done. I've heard of it being done. But the thing is, can she do it? And then you're going to blame the school. The school gave you the services. You have to use it. I said, did she use her change purse? Probably not. Anyhow.
Poured the screen of the book, and then it would play it back to her because she couldn't read it. And then she would be able to answer the questions based off of being able to hear it. And then she'd use ChatGPT to create it and put it in a format that she wanted to. And then if she thought it didn't sound right, she'd rewrite it and have them rewrite it by speaking.
See how she's not stupid, okay? If you can do all that, okay? If you can do all that, then you can learn how to read and write. You can do all that, you learn to read and write.
Speech to text. And so the effort that she put in to be able to graduate, but when you look at her complaint, she says, well, I told them I couldn't read. They'd have me go in the corner and just draw flowers. I talked to this person and she humiliated me in front of my classroom. So I cried day after day. This isn't her first lawsuit either. She sued them before.
Oh.
And now she's suing them again because
Okay.
the first time she didn't want money.
There's some
Oh, she sued them before. Okay.
things that just don't add up. And I know you know this better than I do in terms of this case, but she now is in college. She had to apply to go to college.
She
so how
did?
did you fill out your application if you don't know how to read and write? It's like these kinds of things that come up. And then in terms of her being humiliated, I'm wondering in a case, are you putting yourself in that situation? I mean, it's not to be able to knock you wanting to be successful, but you're now putting yourself in these hurdles. Do you think she has a case?
No, I mean, 100%. I think this case is excellent. And there's precedent behind it. There's a kid in Tennessee that did the exact same thing. Graduated with 3.4, went on to go to attempt to become in the military, and you need a 31 on the test. He scored a 7.
Wait a minute. Wait, whoa. Back that shit up.
come in the military and you need a 31 on the test, he scored a 7.
He scored a, oh, get the fuck out of here, okay?
They looked at the notes during discovery to show his reading ability, and he had an IEP in that place, an educational improvement plan. And during that process, they were going back and forth saying, this guy can't read. In her situation, yes, I think she has a number of things in place that her case will be extremely successful.
It is such a fascinating case.
Wish we had more time.
I wish we did, because it's good, though, that you said that we had precedent, though, because that's one of the things I was going to ask you. Is there another case like this? Collie Frost, we appreciate your insight, as always.
You need to start flunking these kids out of school. That's what you need to start doing. You start flunking these kids out of school. You start flunking them out of school. You setting them back. This is bullshit, man. How does it help? How does this help anybody? All you're doing is giving them another avenue to fail. How does it help anybody? It's bullshit. Anyway. But what I'm saying is, they see the lawyers, see the women and stuff like that protecting her. I want to see the lawsuit, though. You know, I really want to see the lawsuit. I want to see them actually put the school district on trial. Okay. Because she should have never been passed. Number one. Okay. She should have never got out of kindergarten without knowing how to read or write. Okay. They should go back to the standard way of doing things instead of making things easy by texting and being on Chromebooks and shit like that. I know you want to, but the thing is, at some point they're going to have to stop doing this shit and go back to the basics. Because now you got these kids that are undereducated getting into the workforce and can't do shit. Well, are they all going to go back and start suing the educational system? You got kids that can barely read and write getting out of college. Okay, and now you want to encourage them to use ChatGPT, game the system just like she did. What did I say about gaming the system, right? Because I got all this crap about using ChatGPT and not reading the book and summarizing the book and blah, blah, blah. And it'll help you learn and summarize. And then when you get out in the fucking workplace, all of a sudden you don't know shit. And 6 months in, they're firing you. And after a whole bunch of kids come in like that, they don't want to hire anybody with a degree that's Gen Z. And everybody thinks it's okay. Oh, we can just leverage more technology. And that's the same technology you're training to replace. You do wonder why you're going to get replaced doing this kind of bullshit. You dumb down the kids and replace them with technology. Okay. And wonder how come they can't get a job. Wondering why other countries are starting to eat their lunch. Third world countries now starting to eat America's lunch. Because you started this shit 40 years ago. Treating human beings like machine pieces. They're not. And then you're thinking that you're going to survive this and you can leverage technology and overcome this. And now you got 300 million people that you don't have anything to do with. Get the fuck out of here. And said can't do anything in the home, have no skills in the real world, marriage. Well, yeah, basically I knew that back in the 90s, marriage is over. I just wanted to see how they were actually going to play this shit out, okay? But I remember, I never forget it, man. It was two psychologists, man, black psychologists, okay? We had about a half an hour argument over this shit, about fucking marriage 2.0, okay? This partnership. I said it back then. I said, you know, the way I was trained, the way my mother was trained, where my father was trained, we were trained for a role. Being a husband is not just a title, okay? You're not a fucking partner. You're trained for a role, the role of husband. Your wife is trained for the role of wife. If you don't train these people, in roles, when they come together, they seamlessly mesh. Like my mother and father, they have to go through all this bullshit, okay? She knew what her job was. He knew what his job was, okay? You have to go through all this crap about, oh, got to find the right partner. You find a woman that you could agree with and tolerate most of the time. You married her, you made a family. And she knew what she was supposed to do. You did what you were supposed to do. It worked. Okay, they argued with me for like a half an hour. Okay, well, you know, people get together and they'll work it out amongst themselves. I said, so everybody's supposed to have a psych degree to figure out how to get along with each other and who's going to do what. They got quiet, and fast forward 30 years later, guess what? Shit's all blown up to hell. because nobody knows what the fuck they're supposed to do. And 90% of people, not I said it was about 80% of people. 90% of the people have no idea what the fuck what to do when they get in marriage. Why they don't last. That's why back in the day, people stay married for fucking life. Okay, 50, 60 years. Now they barely stay married for 5, and now they're not really getting married at all. No Child Left Behind. It was even before that. Even before that, man. Even before that. Well, homegirl 40 pounds with the lawsuit against Lyft. That kind of, the thing is, the bullshit is so absurd, man. I could literally find a channel and talk about absurd shit every fucking day. Every fucking day. Just absurd stuff that absolutely makes no fucking sense. I remember I played the teacher that got fired because the student couldn't take a test because of emotional distress, and he said "want want." In other words, I don't give a shit. Okay, take the test anyway. Okay, he made the student take a test. They failed it, and then they got the parents and administrators called him into the office and fired him. Okay. Want want. He didn't call the motherfucker a bastard or a bitch or lazy or stupid. He just said want want. And kids start crying. High school kid started crying because they had a broken heart. Get the fuck out of here. I wonder how many black got into Yukons while denied black. Okay, you got to rewrite that one, man. Putting women in charge of children really worked out well, huh? You know what? I don't mind women being in charge. Women have always been in charge of our kids, right? The thing is, the standards for being a fucking woman has gotten so low that it doesn't even count anymore. Okay, they're not mothers anymore. Just like that heifer that had her kids die in a frozen van. Okay, along with her mother in the car with her. Yeah, her whole family living in a freaking van, man, and a 2-year-old in a freaking van for 3 months. Come on. Yeah, we had MIPs in marriage and the military indoctrination programs, basic training. We had marriage and indoctrination programs, which we used to happen in school. Oh man, it's supposed to happen at 3 well, I remember my mother said how she learned how to cook, right? My mother learned from her grandmother when she was like 8 or 9. Because she started having to cook meals for the family. Okay, training how to cook meals. So 2 or 3 times, but 3 or 4 times a month, she had to come train under my grandmother how to cook. Her grandmother, I should say, how to cook and how to take care of the house. It does not start when the chick hits 30. Why didn't we get that red carpet treatment? On something one, I don't know about red carpet treatment. Talking about black males? Man, that's how life is. If you're not prepared, you get smacked around with can't shelter kids. You're supposed to shelter means you give them enough to what they can handle and prepare them for the outside world, okay? I remember when I had my kids, because I know how I grew up, right? Okay. My ex would say, well, the kids are getting bullied. We'll put them in a fighting program, train them to fight. Okay. It happened to my grandson, right? He's getting bullied. Okay. Put him in a boxing program. Put him in a boxing program over summer. Basically, guess what? All that bullying stopped. They stopped fucking with him. Same thing with a friend of mine. Okay. He's special needs kid. He was getting bullied by the bullies, because he's special needs, right? He's coming home crying every day. And she says, I don't know how to stop my kid from getting bullied. I said, you put him in a martial arts class, boxing, karate, whatever. She did that shit for 3 months, okay? For 3 months, right? All of a sudden he stopped getting bullied. But she took him out why? Because she got scared that he was going to turn those skills on her. That's the biggest problem with a black family. You're afraid to train the kid because you think that kid's skills going to get turned on you because you want to bully the kid and hit the kid and get away with it. And the kid knows how to fight; he can punch back. That's the biggest reason why most kids don't get aren't in martial arts is because their parents are afraid of them. Grandma had no. Oh man, I actually played it. I actually had to play that shit. Well, I thought this started with no child. No, it's been going a while. Special ed's been around a while since the 70s, but the 80s, yeah. That's why we all call it the short bus. Yeah, he said womp womp. I'm glad an elder Gen Z because this shit wouldn't have happened when I was coming up. It happens, okay. It's been happening. In fact, it was happening starting with Gen X, with the special ed shit. I said we need a new marriage contract that renews every 3 to 5 years. Kids with the breadwinner, no child support, of cash prizes for after divorce. Good luck. 55% of the voters are female. My own land, and why I thought the special ed was made in the early 90s. No, it was not. In fact, these special ed was so bad in the 80s. They used to put these kids on drugs, and a mother used to get money for putting these kids on drugs. And what they did start trying to do in the 90s was actually start mainstreaming these kids. Keep in mind, Hartford budget this year is $29 million. Yeah, okay. This child should have never been passed, okay? Western parenting went into the sewer, and no one, be it the Dems or Repubs, is trying to change it. They rather play zero-sum power game. This feminist shit, because I can tell you, boomers fought against this shit, man, because it was forced on us. You know, disciplining your kids, okay? The kids had the right to actually call special services on you. They had to report you to teachers, yada, yada, yada. Took SWAT out of the school. All that kind of shit happened in the 80s, okay? And went on and got worse in the 90s. So basically, a lot of boomers hated the rules were actually implemented for these kids. And when these kids start bringing home I hear it now. Okay, how come you don't bring home homework? I said I had a teacher in high school tell me that we don't discuss Crispus Attucks when discussing the American Revolution. This has been going on since, like BGS said. My mother took me out of that class quick. Yep. You know what? Where I really learned Crispus Attucks from was in a white school system. Okay, I learned more about slavery and basically civil rights in a white school system than I did in a black school system. Believe it or not. I actually trained my son how to wrestle and box. Issues with him getting bullied were instantly gone. I still encourage him to keep it up. It's my job to stay ready and keep him humble and focused. How can I keep these damn special ed kids away from my sons? Since they're mainstream, almost impossible. Okay. Do you see any benefits for a man to get married? Yeah, it depends on the woman. If the woman is useful, marry her. If she got money, connections, or she can actually raise good children, marry her. It should be a return on investment first. I probably would not have kids without being married, without the proper mother. That's what I had learned that the hard way. Okay, you get married for your kids, not for you. You're gonna get married for your children first, and not for you. You want successful children? Marry a woman that's gonna make successful children. Okay, trust and believe came from an old man and save you a lot of headache in the long run. But you keep them occupied. The thing is, if you just sit down with the kid, either read to them or have them read to you 30 minutes a day. It's all you need. Okay, it's about being consistent. 30 minutes a day. Instead of scrolling on your phone, watching TV, you need to be watching TV. You're watching TV, they're reading the book. You know how hard it is to get people to do that shit? Stop whining. Shut the fuck up. You work 8 hours a day. This is a lot easier than you working. It ain't that hard. In the 70s, ADHD didn't exist. You just got extra ass whooping. No, it didn't. The ADHD really started in the 80s. Not the special ed, but you falling. Oh, of failing and being passed. They would do. It wasn't the whole country, but that was very common. Okay. In fact, there was a football player. I can't remember his name. Right. He didn't go to the pros. He went to UCLA. Right. Went all the way. Graduated from college. Okay. Couldn't read or write. Couldn't read or write. So they have been passing kids, but the thing is, wasn't on this broader scale. I did a woman like the woman in the video. She could barely write above third grade level, and was an elementary. Well, the thing is, at least she could read and write to the level of the kids she was teaching. So. Anyhow, man, that's my hour. That's me punching the clock. I wanted to do this one first because I saw it. I was going to do it yesterday, but I decided I took yesterday off. I decided to do it today. 500 people watching. Please hit the likes. If you can, donate $1, donate a like, okay? Because YouTube is still on my ass, especially with the shit I'm getting ready to probably do tomorrow. Tomorrow I think I'm gonna do. I saw Psyhex talking about an egg hunt, talk about DEI in a sense, women get special advantages. I'm gonna do that one tomorrow. I think I want to do the one where I think his name was John Kennedy. I think it was Louisiana. Talking about, guess what? The budget and Stacey Abrams. Okay, I think I'll do that one on Thursday. Friday's AMA. There's something I probably will have to do on Patreon sometime this week, which is talk about Scott Ritter talked about a global white supremacy, which I've never heard him talk about, right? Which all these realists and military realists don't talk about, right? Talk around it. He actually talks about Ukraine being the poster child for global white supremacy. So I might do that one on Patreon. If I get time tonight or Wednesday, I will do that one on Patreon. I don't like doing that kind of stuff in public, especially not that one. Okay, that's probably too hot a topic to do actually in public. I probably will do that one on Patreon. I'll probably do a live stream for about an hour or so on Patreon with that one. But I've already done the thing with what's his name, with Zelensky and Donald Trump in the Oval Office. I actually did a short about Zelensky calling JD a biatch. And wonder why you're getting all your your funding pulled. But I probably would do that one. Blah blah. Not really. Actually, what Trump did, Trump knew the deal was going to fall through. But the thing is, Trump needs an excuse to cut these cats loose. The last thing you want to do is try to colonize Ukraine. That's a headache. Needs to be added to the stream deck. Womp womp. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. I'm probably going to do that one because I'm surprised, because I've been saying it for the last 3-4 years that 3 years that this war was an existential white supremacist war. Okay, for various reasons, and I'm surprised to hear him say it out loud. He's the first one of his ilk to actually say it out loud. Carol, how do you hear pro-blacks talk about it? But, I understand why, because they don't know. I'm gonna say this: most pro-blacks don't know shit. Most of them. I didn't say not all. Most of them. That's how come I had to get out of, not get out of the business, is because I got tired of trying to explain shit that should be obvious about white supremacy and how that shit works. Okay, because they always go back to the moral question instead of following the money. They say following the money leads you to the truth. I believe it. They shouldn't be, but there's a reason why they sent money to foreign nations. There's a reason why they put military bases on foreign nations. And for a long time, since 1930, that shit worked. Okay, almost 100 years, the shit worked. But the thing is, what happens when the environment changes? Okay, the shit don't work no more. You got to do something else. Blah blah blah. I've been doing this shit for my first one of my first essays when I was in ROTC was on the 2.5 war policy. Okay, I was 18. That's how long I've been studying this shit. Okay, so well over 50 years. Okay, so long I've been studying this shit. So I have a big jump on you. So you trying to tell me this stuff, how this stuff works, how the world works? If you can, I want you to start a school. I want to study under you. If you can know more than me, I want to study under you. Okay. That's why I come in 2025, I don't tolerate pedestrians very well. Okay, especially after what we just saw with the election. Okay, if you can't figure it out, and when it's put right in front of your face, I don't even want to talk to you. Okay, can't get no more obvious. Anyhow, let me get out of here. Link to Patreon is always in the description of any video I put up. It's permanent. So I don't have to put the link into the page. If somebody wants to put it in, that's fine. But things linked in Patreon is in the description of every video. Do some work. Stop being lazy. The YouTube philosopher talk about the white supremacy war between white men. I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't heard it. I hear him talk around it. I haven't heard it. That's caught up, and that's why I was telling you that even the PowerPoint in basic education is bad. Oh, bad in education too. PowerPoint as a tool is not bad. Okay. But the thing is, a lot of teachers are actually lazy. They want you to leverage. Actually, wants you to leverage technology so you don't have to teach as hard. Okay, it's not easy to sit there and teach a kid to read and write. Okay, it's not easy to read bad writing. Okay, basically, I remember my grandson kept losing pencils, right? So I went to Amazon. I bought him like a box of 200 pencils, okay, sharpened already. Want to hear an excuse? I can't find a pencil. The box is over there. You're going to sit down and you're going to write a paragraph by hand. Okay? Not this bullshit. I'm going to type. Okay, even typing, you know, type and take some kind of dexterity. I want you to sit down by hand and write. I want you to digest what you just read. I want you to write a paragraph. So you exercise writing. And then we go back and correct your grammar. It's called old school. There's a reason to develop this shit for a reason. Anyhow, that's probably me. That's probably him texting me saying I got to go do some homework. So I will. Do I still accept email? Sure. Do you believe they believe ADHD is used to sell drugs and drug the boys and to keep putting them special? I think they're used to pacify boys because boys are not little girls, and when boys cannot, boys and girls cannot be educated the same way. So when boys get outside of that limit of where of being able to sit down with their hands folded in front of them, then they start putting them on drugs instead of just adjusting the educational system or basically separating the educational system. Okay, they try to put my son on it, with the ADHD drugs, you know, and because they're getting extra money for it. Okay, by drugging these kids, and I had damn near cuss his mother out, but not put my goddamn kid on no goddamn drugs because some white bitch said so. I don't give a fuck what she says. You're not putting my kid on drugs. Okay. I'll take him out of school and teach him myself first. I was pretty hard-headed and got in trouble a lot. One of the most common punishments was writing something. Yeah. I sit him in the corner and make him read for 30 minutes. They broke that shit up real fast. Anyway, you know, basically, everybody has a crutch, right? ADHD, that means your parents have to do more work. That's your kid. Do you want the kid to succeed? You want the kid to succeed. ADHD doesn't mean shit. Yeah, you just have to learn a different way. You can't. Kids that have like I got a grandson on the spectrum right now. Everybody has problems with him except me. It's because I teach him the way he needs to be taught. Okay, he learns a different way, so I teach it that way. Shit that take them a whole week to teach him, I teach him within like 15 minutes. Because I adjust the teaching method to the way his mind works. But I'm a different kind of parent, so I can't use me as an example. Anyhow, let me get out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow. 5 X will not talk and cloud. That will do it. It does, and guess who? And white women and black women will actually want to make sure that black boys are squashed down like that. Okay. They don't because they want to turn little boys into little girls, and we'll turn little girls into little boys. Okay, and shit doesn't work. Anyway, we get out of here.